Hey everybody, this is Jack at the Tulip Experience Center, and today I want to take you through our new aerospace and automotive bay assembly demo, sponsored by Zebra Technologies. In this demo, multiple operators will be able to work on the same work order at the same time, all through Tulip apps on their tablets. They'll be able to scan in components, submit defects to their material review board, torque bolts, and more, all while staying mobile around the bay assembly. Here on the dashboard, you can see live metrics, station monitoring, and a live feed of your bay assembly demo. This screen acts as main hub for the operators to access all of the necessary applications they'll need throughout their demo. As you can see, if the operator does not have proper clearances, it's not going to be able to let them continue until the right person logs in. Now it is time to start our assembly. When a work order is created, a parent work order through Tulip tables will be created, and 2 child work orders will be associated to that parent work order. The child work orders will then be filtered between one operator and the other. In this particular instance, this work order will be a first article run, which means there will be more in-depth inspections that operators would not typically have to do. We now need to scan in our components for our work order that our kitting team has previously added to our work cart. As I scan in things like my main bolts and my camshaft main caps, they'll be depopulated from the table of parts to pick, and their genealogy will also be associated to the work order. I can even verify the shelf life of things like the Loctite, all in the same application. It's now time to begin my assembly. I'll take my main cap and place it under my Zebra FS40 camera. Using optical character recognition, it's going to read the markings on the main cap and tell me on my dashboard where to place the part. Now that our main caps are placed, it's time to add Loctite to our bolts and place them on the motor. I now need to torque my bolts. I'll scan in my torque driver and check in my equipment manager if it's calibrated, when the last calibration date was, and if it's available. If not, I can go to my equipment manager and calibrate my torque driver. Tulip will collect the data of your torquing, and we can even use bolt verification using real-time location tracking technology. So if I go over the wrong bolt, I won't be able to use my torque driver, while if I go over the right bolt, I'll be able to torque my bolts down. If there's a problem with assembly, torquing, or even a length measurement, I can now log my reason, condition, and description of my defect, and then send it to my material review board. I can even take a picture of my defect with my Zebra tablet, so my board knows exactly what went wrong. Now that the defect has been added, we can choose the disposition of that defect and choose to either mark it as scrap, send it to rework, or use it as it is. In this case, we'll send it to rework. We can choose things like severity, add a description, and even use Tulip's frontline copilot to help us decide what went wrong. Before we clear the rework and proceed with the inspection, we have to have our QA managers, supervisors, and operators sign off on the defect. Now we have to do our length measurement using a connected caliper that is only available for first article runs. We can now review inspections for our torque and length measurements before sending it to our as-built configuration for review from our managers. Now we take the role of a manager, reviewing work order details before releasing the work order. Here, we can view all of the work order details using Tulip's record history widget. We can review any defects associated with the work order. We can review the component genealogy that's associated. We can review any inspections that were done throughout our assembly process, and also any tool configuration to guarantee our torque tool was calibrated. Using a legacy paper process, these efforts can take hours and sometimes even days, sifting through multiple forms and paper. Now, operators and auditors are able to view traceability down to the bolt, instantly and directly within their workflow. Once the other operator finishes their child work order, we'll be able to view our first article inspection report that has all of the information associated with our work order that was a first run. Once signed off, this report can be sent to a QA supervisor or manager, and the work order can finally be released. This shows how Tulip can add value to your process and enable our bay assembly operators on the shop floor.